he sees a vision of Billy formed in the stars in the sky. In this vision, Billy speaks to him. He told him that his father is still alive in a place called Kitado. Finn told him that his father, Joshua, is dead. But Billy told him he's not talking about Joshua, but he's talking about his real human father.
Not Joshua, your other dad. Dad is human.
What?
Your father, Finn. He's alive. 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 He's alive.
Finn is finally closer than ever to finding the father he's searched for his entire life. But to reach him, he'll have to commit one of the universe's greatest crimes. Season 6 begins with Finn still thinking about his father after discovering that he's actually alive. Determined to find him, Finn and Jake head to Prismo's room, hoping he can help. When they arrive, they find the Lich still frozen in the background after his failed wish from last season. The only way to get there is by committing a cosmic crime. To make his plan work, Prismo sends Finn and Jake to bring back a sleeping old man. After tracking him down, they finally learn why he's so important. Prismo reveals that he's actually the old man's dream. As long as the old man stays asleep, Prismo exists. If he wakes up, Prismo disappears. Prismo then comes up with a shocking solution. He explains that killing the Master of Wishes would count as a cosmic crime, sending Finn and Jake straight to the prison where Martin is being held. Before they can even decide what to do, the Lich suddenly comes back to life. He wakes the old man, causing Prismo to disappear, then immediately kills him. Jake is furious, but before anyone can react, a portal opens. Because of his crime, the Lich is being taken to the cosmic prison. Seeing their chance, Finn and Jake grab onto him and jump through the portal, hoping it'll finally lead them to Finn's father. Finn is finally about to meet the father he's spent his entire life searching for. But before the day is over, he'll lose far more than he ever expected. The next episode finally introduces us to Martin, Finn's father. After spending so much time wondering who he is and what happened to him, Finn finally gets the chance to meet him inside the Citadel, a massive prison that holds some of the most dangerous criminals in existence. But things quickly spiral out of control. As soon as the Lich arrives, he starts causing chaos throughout the Citadel, breaking criminals out of their cells and throwing the entire prison into disorder. While the guards struggle to contain the situation, Finn finally comes face to face with his father. Unfortunately, the reunion doesn't go the way Finn imagined. Instead of being happy to see his son, Martin barely acknowledges him. His only concern is escaping the Citadel, and he spends most of the episode looking for a way out. Finn keeps trying to connect with him, but Martin is only thinking about himself. Meanwhile, the Lich undergoes a strange transformation.
Huh?
Fall. There is only darkness for you, and only death for your people. These ancients are just the beginning.
After being reduced to nothing more than a skull, Finn manages to throw some of the Citadel guards out of strange white liquid onto him. This liquid has the power to restore things to their original state. Since the Lich was created after possessing Billy's body, the liquid strips away the Lich's corruption and leaves behind an innocent baby. This child will later be known as Sweet Pea. Back on the Citadel's surface, Martin finally finds his chance to escape. Finn desperately tries to stop him, but during the struggle, his arm gets trapped. Martin doesn't even stop. Finn ends up losing his right hand. Even after everything, Martin abandons him and escapes into space. Some of the same white liquid ends up touching Finn's injury. Instead of growing his hand back, a strange flower begins growing from where his hand used to be. With the Citadel behind them, Finn and Jake return home to Ooh. Before leaving, they bring the transformed baby to Tree Trunks and her fiancé to take care of him. Finn finally found his father, but instead of getting the reunion he always dreamed of, he lost his hand and watched Martin leave without looking back. And as the episode ends, it's clear that Finn's story with his father is far from over. The next 3 episodes aren't important to the main storyline, so we'll skip them. Finn may have lost his arm at the Citadel, but what grows back is far from normal. In episode 6, Finn's missing arm finally becomes the center of the story. Ever since losing his hand at the Citadel, a strange flower has been growing from the spot where it used to be. One day, a weird bee becomes attached to the flower and starts following him everywhere. Before long, things take a bizarre turn. Finn's arm suddenly begins growing back, but it doesn't stop there. The new arm keeps getting bigger and bigger. The giant arm explodes. When Finn looks down afterward, he's shocked to discover that his right arm is back, but something is different about it. Running through the middle of his arm is a patch of grass, almost like the grass sword has become part of his body. But with the grass sword now fused to his body, it's clear this new arm isn't completely normal. Episodes 7, 8, and 9 don't play a major role in the overall story. Just when things seem to be settling down, the Candy Kingdom comes under attack once again. In episode 10, Maya returns. Earlier in the season, she managed to get her hands on a magical shirt that originally belonged to Princess Bubblegum, and now she's ready to use its power. Using the shirt, Maya summons a massive giant and sends it straight toward the Candy Kingdom. Before long, the giant reaches the Candy Castle, forcing Finn and Jake to step in and defend it. A fierce battle breaks out as Finn and Jake do everything they can to stop the creature. After a tough fight, they finally manage to bring the giant down and save the kingdom from destruction. With her plan falling apart, Maya is defeated as well. She crashes to the ground, bringing her attack to an end. Episodes 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 don't play a major role in the overall story. They're just small adventures across Ooo. After 6 seasons, Adventure Time finally reveals the true origin of Jake's stretching powers. Episode 16 finally answers one of the biggest questions about Jake. Where did his stretching powers actually come from? The episode is told through a story Jake shares with Finn and BMO, taking us back to the time before he was born. Through a flashback, we meet Jake's mother, Margaret, while she's pregnant and preparing for the arrival of her children. Everything is peaceful until a strange blue creature suddenly appears and bites Joshua, Jake's father, before quickly running away. At first, nobody understands what happened, but not long after, Joshua starts developing a bizarre blue tumor on his head. Worried about her husband, Margaret sets out on a journey to find a cure, but by the time she returns home, the tumor has grown even larger, and the situation only gets stranger. Then, just as Margaret is about to give birth, something unbelievable happens. A baby suddenly bursts out of the tumor on Joshua's head, and that baby is Jake.
Hello, Daddy. Hello, Mommy. It's so nice to be here with you now.
After popping out, Jake lands in a patch of dirt nearby. Because of this, he spent years believing that he got his magical powers from playing in the dirt as a baby. But now we finally learn the truth. A few moments later, Margaret gives birth normally to Jake's brother, Jermaine. This reveals the big difference between the two brothers. Jermaine was born like an ordinary dog, while Jake was created because of the strange blue creature that bit Joshua. That's the real reason Jake inherited his incredible stretching abilities, while Jermaine never developed any powers at all. Episodes 17 and 18 don't play a major role. Prismo may be gone, but Finn and Jake aren't ready to give up on bringing him back. Ever since Prismo disappeared, Finn and Jake have been trying to figure out if there's any way to bring him back. Eventually, they come up with a pretty ridiculous plan. They spend the night singing, dancing around a pickle jar, thinking about Prismo, and then falling asleep, hoping their dreams might somehow lead them to an answer. Once asleep, both Finn and Jake find themselves experiencing strange dreams. At first, nothing seems to make sense, but the deeper they go, the more they realize the dream world is connected to the real world, and what happens in one can affect the other. Then comes the big surprise. Through the events of the dream, Prismo is finally brought back to life. After everything that happened at the Citadel, he's back once again. But Prismo isn't the only thing that returns. Finn also wakes up with a brand new weapon known as the Finn Sword, a weapon that will play an important role in the adventures ahead.
Finn Sword, dude.
Welcome back, Prismo.
Thank you, Finn.
Welcome back, Prismo.
Thank you, Jake.
While Finn recovers from everything that's happened, someone else is still refusing to give up on the past. Episode 20. Betty continues searching for a way to bring Simon back. Even after everything that's happened, she refuses to give up and keeps looking for a cure. Meanwhile, the baby that Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig adopted after the events at the Citadel is still living with them and adjusting to his new life. Finn finally puts his new sword to the test, but it turns out the weapon has a secret of its own. Episode 21 is the first time Finn uses his new weapon, the Finn sword. He quickly discovers that the sword is far from ordinary. Somehow, there's a tiny version of Finn living inside it, revealing that the weapon is much stranger than anyone first imagined. Episodes 22 and 23 don't play a major role. Episode 24 reveals the origin of the Ice King's crown and introduces one of the most important characters connected to it, Evergreen. We learn that Evergreen created the crown thousands of years ago. He has blue skin, a long nose, and a large white beard, which explains why the crown gradually transforms its future wearers to resemble him. Even before creating it, Evergreen already possessed powerful ice magic, which is why the crown grants similar abilities to anyone who wears it. The episode also introduces Evergreen's apprentice, a dinosaur named Gunter. This explains why every future wearer of the crown becomes obsessed with someone named Gunter, including the Ice King and his penguin. Through Evergreen's story, we learn more about Ooh long before the main series. The elemental powers of candy, fire, slime, and ice already existed, passing from one person to another across generations. While Princess Bubblegum and Flame Princess inherited their elemental powers naturally, the Ice King's abilities come from the magical crown instead. The main story takes place as a catalyst comet approaches the world. Believing it will bring about the end, Evergreen creates the crown and gathers the magical gems needed to complete it. But before he can use it, disaster strikes. Gunter puts on the crown first and makes a wish. The crown immediately transforms him, giving him Evergreen's appearance and causing him to lose his mind. The comet still arrives, and the crown begins its long journey through history, eventually ending up in Simon Petrikov's hands thousands of years later. What looks like a deadly comet turns out to be something far more unexpected. Episode 25 reveals that the object racing toward Mars isn't a comet at all. It's actually the escape pod Martin used to flee the Citadel, and it's on a direct course for the planet. The people of Mars do everything they can to stop it, but nothing is powerful enough to slow the ship down. Realizing there's no other choice, Glob sacrifices himself by flying straight into the escape pod. He gives his life to save Mars, successfully knocking the ship away from the planet. Mars is saved, but the danger isn't over. Deflected by Glob's sacrifice, Martin's ship is now heading straight back toward Earth. The Lich may be gone, but his story is far from over.
Hold on, sweet pig Trunks, we're coming.
Episode 26 shows Tree Trunks treating the little baby as her own son, even giving him a name, Sweet Pea. Even though Sweet Pea was created from the Lich, he's just an innocent child who doesn't seem to have any evil intentions. However, the Lich still exists somewhere deep inside him.
Stop. I have learned much from you. Thank you, my teachers, and now for your education.
After years of wondering what happened, we finally learn how Finn was separated from his father. Episode 27 finally reveals how Finn was separated from Martin. When Finn was just a baby, he and his father were traveling by boat until a giant sea creature attacked them, tearing them apart. Finn was swept away by the ocean and eventually found by Joshua and Margaret, who raised him as their own. We'll learn even more about Finn's past later in the series. In the present, Martin's crashed spaceship lands on a farm inhabited by small white creatures. While sleepwalking, Finn finds the crash site and discovers his father forcing the creatures to repair his ship. Feeling sorry for them, Finn tries to stop him, but as soon as the repairs are complete, Martin immediately flies back into space, abandoning Finn once again. Episode 28, Don't Play a Major Role. One of Adventure Time's biggest mysteries finally gets an answer. Episode 29 finally reveals that Susan is actually a human, just like Finn. But after she removes her hat, we also discover a strange electronic device attached to her head. What it is, and why it's there, remains a mystery for now, but the truth will be revealed later in the series. Episodes 30, 31, 32 doesn't play a major role. This episode reveals what Jake's brother has been doing, while everyone else was out chasing adventures. Episode 33 brings Finn and Jake to visit Jake's brother, Jermaine. They discover that he's been living alone in Joshua and Margaret's old house, taking care of everything by himself while Finn and Jake spent their lives going on adventures.
Jermaine, you gonna leave me hanging, bro?
Let it burn.
Huh?
But all Dad's stuff!
No, I think it's all right.
Episodes from 34 to 37 don't play a major role. Episode 38 brings back Magic Man, and finally explains why he's always been so strange. Betty discovers that every magic user is affected by three things: magic, madness, and sadness. The stronger the magic, the more it comes with madness and sadness. By the end of the episode, Betty takes Magic Man's hat and absorbs his magic, transforming into Magic Betty, before disappearing. Meanwhile, Magic Man loses all of his powers and becomes a normal person again. We also finally learn what happened to Margles, Magic Man's girlfriend. Through a flashback, we see that she was taken by Gold. After losing the person he loved most, Magic Man was consumed by sadness. To maintain his powerful magic, he also became consumed by madness, which explains why he spent years tormenting others and acting so cruel throughout the series. The event that's been foreshadowed all season is finally about to begin. Episode 39 reveals that the Catalyst Comet is finally approaching Earth. It's been 1,000 years since the last comet, and now another one is drawing closer, bringing with it another era of change. Episode 40 reveals one of the biggest secrets about Gunter. Gunter isn't who we thought he was. The episode begins when Gunter hits his head so hard that he starts acting strangely, sending out a mysterious signal into space. A group of alien creatures receives the signal and realizes that the legend of Orgalorg might actually be true. We learn that Orgalorg was once an incredibly powerful cosmic being who ruled over parts of the universe. He wanted to absorb the power of the Catalyst Comet, but before he could, he ended up on Earth, where he was stripped of his true form and reduced to the small penguin we know today as Gunter. Gunter isn't just an ordinary penguin. He's actually the ancient cosmic being known as Orgalorg. After disappearing once again,
That's right, you silly guards.
we finally get a quick look at where Martin ended up. Episode 41 briefly catches us up on Martin's journey. We find out that he lands on a strange planet filled with gold. After taking what he can, he tames a giant bee-like creature and uses it to fly back into space, continuing his journey through the universe. Just before the season finale, everything in Ooh begins to change. Episode 42 changes everything in the Candy Kingdom. The King of Ooh, who was introduced back in Season 5, convinces the citizens that he'd make a better ruler than Princess Bubblegum. A vote is held, and surprisingly he wins, becoming the new ruler of the Candy Kingdom. Princess Bubblegum leaves the castle and moves into a small house with Peppermint Butler. At the same time, the Catalyst Comet draws even closer, leaving everyone in Ooh wondering what's about to happen. Meanwhile, Gunter secretly begins building a strange spaceship. It's clear that he's trying to become Orgalorg once again and return to space so he can absorb the power of the Catalyst Comet. The stage is now set for the season finale. Everything this season has been building toward comes to an end as the Catalyst Comet finally arrives. Episode 43 is the season finale. By now, the patch of grass growing from Finn's arm has become his new sword. The story begins with Finn and Jake sneaking aboard Gunter's spaceship as it heads into space. Once they arrive, Gunter finally completes his transformation and becomes Orgalorg once again. At the same time, Finn unexpectedly reunites with Martin, who's still traveling through space on his giant bee. As the Catalyst Comet finally arrives, Orgalorg attempts to absorb its power. Finn jumps inside Orgalorg's body and his grass sword suddenly activates, allowing him to cut Orgalorg from the inside and separate him from the comet. The comet then reveals its true form and offers Finn the chance to leave everything behind and begin a completely new life. Finn refuses, choosing to remain in Ur. Martin, however, accepts the offer and leaves with the comet, disappearing into space.
Reality. I'd like to see it through.
Fair enough.
Hey, how about I get a new mode?
Are you seriously trying to bail out again?
Why? His deal sounds pretty good.
Dad.
Watching his father leave once again leaves Finn heartbroken. Finn and Jake return home, while Orgalorg clings to the spaceship in an attempt to escape. But as he gets closer to Earth, he loses his cosmic form and transforms back into the small penguin Gunter, as he did long ago. And with Martin gone once again, Orgalorg defeated, and the Catalyst Comet finally passed, Season 6 comes to an end.
That's pretty much everything in life, isn't it?
And that wraps up Season 6. This season answered some of Adventure Time's biggest mysteries, but it also opened the door to even more. Martin has disappeared into space once again. Gunter has remembered that he's actually Orgalorg. Princess Bubblegum has lost the Candy Kingdom. Betty has become a powerful magic user. Susan's mysterious past is only beginning to unfold, and the Catalyst Comet has left behind changes that will shape everything to come. With so many questions still unanswered, Season 7 has a lot waiting for us. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.